Hey everybody,
Hi, everyone.
great to see y'all. Welcome to another X-keys 5-Minute Friday.
Yes, happy Friday.
And as per usual, we're going to show you what we're streaming here with.
Let's dive on in.
Stream to YouTube and Facebook.
Yep, of course, vMix Pro version 22.
And a couple of PTZ Optics cameras from our good friends at PTZ Optics.
Yeah, and we're using vMix Social on the Kindle Fire. Bear with me, I'm driving today. I'll try to get your comments up there.
And
yeah,
as usual, we're switching the whole thing with this X-keys XKE-124 video switcher kit.
Man, she's pretty.
Yes, she is. I think, should I just leave her up there for the whole show?
I mean, she deserves a front seat.
She'll come back. Today we're really happy to have a special guest, Eric Tabor from GBIC Productions. He's been field testing our new X-keys XKE-64 Replay unit.
Yes.
Sorry, guys, it's not available to the general public yet.
Almost.
Yeah, we handpicked a few people to help us with the field testing. Kind of, try to knock every bug out that we can before we inflict it on the rest of you.
Thanks, Eric.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah. Let's see, where are you, Eric? That's the shot I'm looking for.
There he is.
And maybe if I turn your mic on. Are you there, Eric?
Yep, he waved. Hi, Eric.
Hi guys, how y'all doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Well, I'm always having fun, It's one of those days.
I completely understand.
So, Eric, before we get into the X-keys stuff, can you tell us a little bit about your company, about GBIC Productions?
Well, GBIC Productions is a video production company. It actually got started with my kids, believe it or not. Well, my family, we started doing some things, and my son had the great idea, hey, Dad, can't we stream and do some things? Because you've got a little bit of knowledge in video editing, video production. So, let's see if we can do some things. And one of the first things I looked for was a cheap, inexpensive switcher, which ended up being vMix. And shouts out to Martin on that one. And then the next thing, when we started playing around with vMix, we were a little vexed because we wanted a simpler way to switch between camera shots, etc., etc. So believe it or not, we started off with one of your X-keys products right here.
XK60.
Cool. And I did get a
Yes.
stack of images from you, so let's put those up right now, and you can just kind of talk us through what we're seeing here.
Okay.
Aw.
Okay, and that's actually one of the students, because I actually do streaming with the local university, Albany State University, and I also train the students. And you could probably spot an X-keys 60 and the old X-keys 60 replay unit on that desktop right there.
Ah, okay.
And
Gotcha.
here is our basketball setup, and you notice the X-keys replay unit, the older one now.
The Jog and Shuttle 68. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that served real well, and
Good.
that's kind of another shot of the X-keys 60 with the students handling the entire production. And here's a close-up of the replay unit that I was using, and I kind of change it up sometimes because I think out of the box, and it's always great because X-keys lets me control everything as far as replay.
Cool.
If you notice, I can go to different cameras, events, speed it up, slow it down.
Yeah, I noticed that since you didn't have the T-bar on this one, which the new replay unit has a T-bar, for speed control, you're using keys. That's cool.
Yes. And that's, like I said, our X-keys 60 that we used for switching and also for graphics. And I'm repurposing that to be a graphics only this upcoming year.
And it looks like you had a replay section set up on this one, and that left lower bank there that looks like all replay controls, right?
Yeah, and what happens, the technical director, because he's controlling the the entire event. So when we're ready for a replay, he'll just hit that replay button.
Oh, very cool. She's got two
And
going.
that's Cassandra, one of our students. She's actually in this situation handling our replay and switching. So she's technical directing and also the replay director.
That's awesome.
Great.
And here's another shot where we're actually training students, and that's Diamond with the hat on and Cassandra with the headsets. And a lot of the students, they take to X-keys like a duck to water.
Oh, that is so great to hear.
And, you know, that's another shot. Like I said, we did a lot of basketball because, you know, basketball is sometimes 3 or 4 games every week. And here again, that's Cassandra. She is actually going to be on the floor with a floor camera for this particular game. She's another student worker that does a great job.
Awesome. A little
And
different.
you see again the XKE-60, and that was my workhorse for a while. I've gone to the X-keys 124 T-bar now, and I've got an X-keys 128 that I use as well. That's a picture of me during FIRST Robotics. We used X-keys to, you know, do the graphics, the video, everything, and I was also doing play-by-play for that one.
Nice. Oh, you even have light pipe indicators on that one. Looks like bottom.
I actually do, and basically that's just another light. It lights up when we're going, to let everybody know when the replay is live, or when we're, you know, when you stop the recording or start the recording. When you start the recording, you know it's live with the LEDs on the bottom.
Cool.
Absolutely. Yep, I'm a visual
That
person.
was actually during the Atlanta Dream game that we had at the Albany James H. Gray Civic Center. You know, we had the, you know, of course, the X-keys replay, and I was using the X-keys 128 T-bar, and that's actually my 128 right there. Like I said, I'm in the process of redoing all of my workflow. So,
Well,
I'm
that's
in
what's great
various
about those.
stages
Well,
right
you can
now.
totally switch them out for you.
Yes. And everybody, you know, and everybody that's used it, they are like, man, this is super simple. And because one of the things working with students, you know, they need to get that experience. But the first thing we do is I sit them in front of it and explain it to them, because when they first see all the buttons there, you know, frozen or in panic mode. But once you explain, you know, this is what this button does, they've got it. And, you know, like I said, that's the new X-keys T-bar Replay Controller, which I'm in love with right now. I'm kind of in the process of tweaking it. You know, I think sometimes outside of the box. So,
Yeah.
you know, I kind of add some things, and as you use it, you say, I want to add this feature, I want to add that feature. And you guys make it real simple. And that's my 128 that I'm actually repurposing right now, or getting that ready for this upcoming season, which starts August 24th.
Well, that's exciting. Very
And
cool.
again, you see,
did tell me you had a lot of X-keys, and I didn't realize it was that many. That's great.
Yeah, I think you get the prize for most X-keys of anybody we've had on the show so far.
That's just awesome. I love that you have so many students using it. That's neat.
Yes,
Start 'em young.
That's the big thing, you know.
Get them hooked.
That's the big thing. They've got to learn, and I try to teach them whatever they want to do. I'm all for it.
That's terrific. Now, as we were talking before, I think you had a live demo that you could throw up for us and tell us a little bit about what's
All right.
happening there. Let me make sure I get you.
And give me just a second here.
You bet. And I've got to get ready for you here, too.
Look at this guy. All right, and I've got, this is actually a replay from the Atlanta Dream game, and I kind of overlaid the vMix screen and the replay screen, so you can kind of see, because I'm not using a mouse, but for example, if I wanted to move down and jump to a certain replay, as you see, all of my clips, I can just go back and forth just with the touch of X-keys.
Oh, nice.
And with the T-bar here, like I said, I can slow this down all the way down to 0. And if I need to speed it up, I can, go back to 100%.
Are you doing that all with the jog wheel? Speeding up and slowing down?
That's the T-bar.
That one
Oh,
I
that's
was
the
using with
T-bar?
the T-bar right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the T-bar.
Gotcha.
And
cool.
this would be the jog wheel. And, I can go backwards and forwards however I like to do, or, frame by frame. And I can pause it, play, switch to a different camera angle. I can go back and forth. This particular game, we had a 3-camera shoot. Well, actually, it was 5 cameras because I pointed a couple of cameras at the scoreboard and the shot clock to pull that data in.
That was very cool.
And I will go and I'll slow it down, and let's go ahead and go to an event here. Excuse me.
And you can control that speed whether you're going forward or reverse, right?
That's correct. And I'll go ahead and go backwards here and speed it up or slow it down. And like I said, that's in reverse. And I'll go back and go forward. And I'll slow it down or speed it up here.
Very cool, very cool.
That was,
know,
thank you.
really good.
That was neat. I like seeing them in action like that.
So we've gone, of course, well over our 5 minutes, as we like to do.
Always.
So Eric, we're gonna roll our close. But then I know there's a bunch of questions in the
Yes.
chat, and I want to ask you some more questions myself. So hang on with us,
Sure.
and we will be right back.
All right. All right.
And we're back.
We are back.
So, Eric, I'm curious about one thing. I'm curious about a lot of things, but one of them is that this replay is still kind of a mystery to me. I mess around with a lot of things in vMix, but I don't have occasion to play with replay. And so when it came time to design this layout, we turned to our expert, which is TJ Thompson. And he's the one that actually designed, refined, and came up with this layout. But you mentioned that you are making some tweaks to it for your own productions. I just wonder what you think about his layout and how that worked out for you out of the box.
And out of the box, it works great. It's kind of, if you've worked with the TriCaster 3-play system, it's eerily similar, and it works great. But one of the tweaks I was going to do is add a few more copy 2 keys. He's got, with this configuration, there are 4. vMix allows up to 8. Now, what I normally do to help categorize the replays is each quarter, I move to, event 1 is first quarter, event 2 second quarter, event 3 is third quarter, event 4 fourth quarter, and so on. And so I'll add those buttons to X-keys for it. And also I have, like, for event 5 would be like touchdowns, and event 6 would be like big plays.
Gotcha.
That makes complete sense.
Right on. Because I think the way that we're going to sell it 2 ways, I believe, right? One's going to come pre-assembled, and then we're thinking about doing a kit. Is that we're considering?
Right. Yeah. Our one way of doing it will be, it'll come right out of the box, just like this, just like you got it, Eric. And then we're also going to sell it as a bare 64 key unit.
Right, like that T-bar bundle that you
Like-
bought, the 124, so you can
Right.
basically build it up like
Right.
Legos. So I think that a lot of people are going to be like, a couple more buttons here and there, but that's what's great about XTs, like you said. You can always just pop in a new key and pop one
Yeah,
out.
or just like you're doing, you could start with the pre-configured layout, and then you can add what you need to it.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
So I have a lot of comments about students, and that's one of the things that I notice going to these trade shows is that you get a lot of people that are constantly switching out who's in their studio, who's learning things, and I've heard that X-keys are great tools to put in front of them so they're not so intimidated trying to learn all these different keystrokes and all these different mouse clicks. And so has that been your experience too? You said it was like a duck to water. Was it, you think it was, you know, a good addition to have right off the bat with them is to give them an X-keys to use?
And it's been fantastic because, like I said, you know, now you don't have to move mouse and jump here and click and try to find something. It's right there at the press of a button.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what we're getting a lot of comments. I know this is our buddy Martin, and he actually works a lot with students over in the UK, so I know that he's definitely happy to hear that they're learning. And of course, vMix. Tommy says, vMix and X-keys are a great combination, as always. Like you said earlier, shout out to Martin and Tim. We do love our vMix, especially how great they work with all of our controllers. So very happy to hear they're going to have that replay integrated, hopefully with the new release.
Yes.
It'll line up hopefully with the release of stock.
So
We're
much
hoping.
flexibility and configurability in both our keyboards and then their software makes a great combination. And most vMix users are like you, where you're not afraid to get your hands a little bit dirty and say, I want it to work this way, and make it happen.
Mm-hmm. So as Rudy's saying, maybe we should give the floor to these students and let them talk about what they do. That would actually be a really cool show.
Yeah, maybe we
we'll
could
have to line that up.
Can set that up for another
I
time.
don't know
We can line that up.
That would be great.
You know,
I was
they're
just going to say.
we can line that up. They're actually on you know, summer break right now, and they'll be back in August, and that will be great.
Football will probably be full force too, or is that the first sport that starts probably for you in August is football, or yeah, not sure what else.
Yes, we've got football and volleyball at Albany State.
That's what it was.
And I also do some high school football, and so it's always great.
Mm-hmm. Tommy was admiring your labeling. I did appreciate that. I like how you made them very visible. Like I said earlier, I'm a visual person, so I appreciated those labels. Easy to read.
Right, because that's the thing with students too, and you see, I'm wearing glasses now, so I don't have a choice. I have to have a beat.
Yeah, I hear ya. I'm going to take a chance that I have my finger on the right key here.
Oh, whoops.
Oops,
Sorry.
we
I'm getting
overlapped
crazy
each
with
other.
social. Sorry. I told you I'm a new driver. Sorry, Dan.
We're competing for that overlay.
There we
Do
go.
I have the right one?
It's just smoke.
Oh,
Oh.
I did, but it's got a trigger on it, so it took itself out.
Oh,
I'll
you're
have to fix
putting
that.
this link up.
Yeah, I was trying to bring up, we have a couple of websites here for Eric. GBIC Productions.
gbicproductions.com. What was the other one? Gridiron? I missed it.
Yeah, here's GBIC Productions. Eric, I heard there's a little bit of a story about how you started this company.
Oh, yeah. That was one of my favorite parts. I forgot to ask him about that.
And like we were talking about my kids, it's actually a family-owned company, and the word GBIC is actually the first letter of my kids, myself, and my wife. The J is for my daughter Jennifer, the I is for my wife Irene, the K is for my daughter Kate, the B
That's
is for
really
my
cool.
daughter Blossom, the E is for myself, and the other E is for my son Eric Jr., and like I said, the K is for Kate.
I love that you guys are all involved in it. That's really neat.
That is great. That is great. And then this is another site,
Oh, there it is.
gridironfootballshow.com. Do I have an overlay for that? No, I just hit the GBIC one by mistake. Nope. Yeah, okay. Let's try this one. This is the one with the trigger. It's going to disappear, so you have to look real quick. There it is.
gridironfootballshow.com.
Blame Spiny. He's always up to mischief.
I'll drop that in the comments. I'll get the link going.
Yeah,
over
we'll
here.
put those links in
Let's see. Someone
in our
else
YouTube
just said
comments for you.
something. Tommy had a comment. Let's see. You want to read that?
I was on a church training show last night, and the moderator suggested to a member that if he went to vMix and X-keys his production, and we ran out of space. What's the rest of that?
Went to VMix, ran out of production. He could step up from OBS. So he wanted to move on, I guess, is what he's
Gotcha.
saying.
Okay. Take that out.
Great.
And there's another thing, and I don't have anything prepped for this, but before I forget, I've been talking with Tom Sinclair over at Streaming Idiots, and he is about to sponsor a replay training session
I saw that this
with
morning.
our buddy TJ Thompson
That's
teaching
gonna
it.
be cool.
Hop over to the Streaming Idiots Facebook group if you're curious about that, and yeah, we'll try to put some kind of link in the comments on this one too. I need to take that because I'd still having a hard time. I mean, I see what you guys are doing. I see how you create events out of those little clips, but I think it's the 4 channels and the 4 cameras and the
That's the
interaction
part that
between
gets me.
them.
I'm always
and,
like,
and you're mentioning something like 8 now. So I get lost in a hurry. I'm kind of looking forward to that training to get my head around how this whole thing works.
All right, we got some comments for Eric. So Rudy says, what is your favorite X keys?
You've got enough of them. You should be able to render an opinion.
Right now, it's this guy.
This one.
Replay. The you guy. We're pretty excited about it. We've been asked about it for a couple of years, so hoping August, September is what we're thinking, and then
Yeah,
let's
maybe
see.
I'll write a book someday about all the perils, the trouble we had getting this thing into
Here we
market.
go. And this is from Martin again. Eric, it's really nice to see someone so into developing young people. Thank you for making it happen. And like I said, Martin works a lot with kids, and so I
Yep.
know he's really appreciating seeing you training these guys and
Yeah,
getting them out in the world. So
Shout out to both of you two, you and Martin,
Yeah.
for all the work you do with kids and developing that young talent.
absolutely. Well, what are we thinking? I forgot that there's something else I was going to ask you, Eric, and I can't remember now.
You were talking to Eric on the phone when we were getting him set up with the replay unit, so we're there.
I can't. I'm drawing a blank. It's been one of those weeks. I told you we had the holiday, and then I came back, and it's just been Tuesday felt like it should have been Friday, and it's just been eventful here. to
Yeah, and I
say the
know,
least.
we're on the cusp of football season here, Eric, so appreciate you taking the time out of your day to talk to us and show us all the great stuff you're doing with our X-keys.
Absolutely.
We do appreciate it.
It's
For
not a
sure.
problem. Like I said, and for our main productions, we're going to be using at least 3 X-keys units.
Yeah. Ooh, and I was going to shout out to that, too. It looked like on the one you had multiple units plugged into the same computer, correct?
Yeah.
Yep,
I run, I run my replay, I run the switcher, and like I said, the third unit, the 60, is going to handle all the graphics.
Yeah, we get that question a lot, so I was glad to see you had a still shot of that one if you can use multiple units at the same time. So I like how VMix can handle that as well.
I don't think I'm revealing anything I'm not supposed to,
Uh-oh.
but I have been working with the guys at VMix, and the next release, the next update of VMix 22, will have templates built in for this replay unit and for the 124 T-bar video switcher kit.
That'd be nice.
So that replay unit will work out of the box with that template, and the switcher kit, if you build it up with our suggested layout, that'll work out of the box.
Right, and then of course you can modify it,
Right,
but that's
which
a
you can always
great
add
place
keys,
to start.
modify
though.
it. So
That is exciting.
yeah, I just love working with those guys.
Tommy says, "Keep up the good work, Eric."
Thank you, Tom.
Let's see. Oh, Rudy's got one more question. Rudy wants to know if you are using X-keys for anything else other than VMix.
As a matter of fact, yes.
Cool. What do you
I also use vMix when I'm working with Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects.
Love it. That's one of our biggest markets,
Yeah.
are the artists that are using
We have
Adobe
a lot
products.
of people using X-keys with Adobe products.
That's
It's really
great.
cool.
Cool.
Okay, well, Eric, I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Great to talk to you face to face. I always like getting to see who I'm talking to over the phone, so this was a good surprise. I wasn't planning on being on here today. I was going to be in the comments, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay.
we'll be thinking of the students though, so keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
Come
We'll be
the fall.
talking to you. We'd like to
That'd
do a
be-
program with the students. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
Bye,
Thanks,
Eric.
Eric.
Okay,
Thanks
and
everybody
I'll
for
definitely
watching.
get that lined up sometime in August.
That'll be fun.
You bet.
All right. Well, that was
Oh,
cool.
That was cool.
That was
I've,
cool.
I've never seen somebody with so many X keys, and
He
he's
might
using
win
all
a
of them.
prize. I mean, that was impressive. All different stations, different students, different events. That was pretty cool. Both worked.
I made the special overlay for us, and then I forgot to put it up at the
Oh,
top of it.
no substitute.
And I'm
Wow.
always looking for an excuse for Spiny
There he
to
is. I was
to
wondering where he was.
pop in and say hi and goodbye.
Let's see. Rudy's saying, great guest. Yes, he was. Oh, it didn't go. I'm just not good with this VMix social.
Okay, you know.
There it is.
It's working. It's working.
Yeah, and then Steedy says, great show. Thanks, Martin.
Martin, Rudy, Tommy.
Anyone else watching?
You're some of my favorite people. Thanks for dropping in. I'm going to add Eric to that list of my favorite people now.
Absolutely.
So thanks, guys. Thanks,
Yep.
everybody.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.